What if I told you a single old coin could be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars? From hidden treasures to ancient rarities, these coins aren't just metal, they're history in your hands. In this video, we're counting down the top 5 most expensive rare coins ever discovered. Stay with me, you won't believe what number 1 is worth. A coin that looks like pocket change could be hiding a big secret. In this video, I'll tell you the story behind this rare coin, what mistake makes it valuable, and how you can check your own coins at home. So stay with me, because this might be the most exciting quarter you've ever seen. Let's start with a little background. Before 1965, quarters in the United States were made of 90% silver. That means if you have a quarter from 1964 or earlier, it's made mostly of silver and is already worth more than 25 cents. But in 1965, things changed. The U.S. Mint stopped using silver in quarters because silver was getting too expensive. Instead, they started making quarters from a mix of copper and nickel, which is what we still use today. But here's where the big mistake happened. Even though 1965 quarters were supposed to be made without silver, a few were accidentally made using the leftover silver blanks from 1964. These blank coins are called planchets. So a small number of 1,965 quarters were made on silver planchets by mistake. This is what collectors call a mint error. And this kind of error makes the coin very rare and very valuable. Imagine having one of those coins in your pocket, and not even knowing it. Some people have found these by accident and sold them for thousands of dollars. In fact, one of these rare 1965 silver quarters sold for over $43,000 at auction. Another one in perfect condition sold for $78,000. That's more than most people make in a whole year. And all from a simple quarter that someone might have gotten in change. Now you're probably wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare 1965 silver quarters? Don't worry, it's easier than you think, and you don't need any fancy tools at first. First, look at the date. It must say 1965. If it says any other year, it's not this rare type. Next, check the edge of the coin. Most modern quarters have a copper-colored edge. But if your 1965 quarter has a solid silver edge with no copper showing, that's a very good sign. The next step is to weigh the coin. You'll need a small digital scale. A normal 1965 quarter made of copper and nickel weighs about 5.67 grams. But the silver era quarter weighs more, about 6.25 grams. That small difference in weight can mean a big difference in value. If your quarter is heavier, you might have a silver one. You can also try the sound test. Silver coins make a high, clear ringing sound when you tap them, while regular coins sound dull. This isn't a perfect test, but it can give you a clue. And finally, if you think you might have one of these rare quarters, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin can actually lower its value. Instead, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can check it, confirm if it's real, and help you sell it for the highest price. What's really exciting is that these rare coins are still out there. They were made by mistake and slipped into circulation, so people could have them in old coin jars, dresser drawers, or even in a pile of pocket change. You don't need to be a coin expert to find one. All you need is to pay attention and know what to look for. So the next time you get a handful of change, don't just toss it aside. Check those quarters, especially the ones from 1965. One of them could change your life. People have found these coins before, and you could be next. A rare 1972 Washington quarter with a special mint error has sold for those huge amounts. And the crazy part is, this coin looks just like any other quarter. You could have it sitting in your pocket, in a coin jar, or even in your wallet right now and not even know it. That's why you need to watch this video until the end. I'm going to tell you what makes this coin so rare, how it happened, how to spot it, and how to know if you have one of these coins hiding in plain sight. Let's start with a quick look at the 1972 quarter. In 1972, the U.S. Mint was making millions of quarters. These coins feature George Washington on the front and an eagle on the back. They're made from copper and nickel, no silver, no gold. Just a regular coin, right? But like all things made in huge numbers, mistakes can happen. And when mistakes happen at the US Mint, collectors go wild. Some of those mistakes are so rare that collectors are willing to pay thousands, even tens of thousands, just to own one. One of the most valuable errors found on the 1972 quarter is a double die obverse. That means the image on the front of the coin, George Washington's face, the words, and the date were struck more than once by the minting machine, and not in the exact same spot. That small misalignment causes the letters or numbers to look thick, blurry, or like they have a shadow. On some 1972 quarters, this double strike is very strong, and it's easy to see with just your eyes or a simple magnifying glass. But here's what makes it exciting. Only a small number of these double die error quarters from 1972 were made. Most of them were caught and melted down, but a few got out into the world. And now, they are among the most wanted coins by collectors. One of these rare coins sold for over $38,000. Another one, in better condition, went for $59,000. And one of the finest known examples in near-perfect shape sold for an unbelievable $88,000 at auction. Can you imagine finding a single coin and making that kind of money? So, how can you tell if you have the rare 1972 double die quarter? First, look at the date. It has to be from 1972. Then, take a close look at the words, Liberty, and, In God We Trust, on the front of the coin. If the letters look thicker than normal, or like they're doubled, you might have something. Also, check the numbers in the date, especially the 9 and the 2. On the error coins, these numbers might look like they have shadows or doubled lines. If you think you see doubling, don't clean the coin. Cleaning a coin can ruin its value. Instead, take it to a coin dealer or send it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. They can check it for you and let you know if it's the real deal. If it is, they'll give it a grade based on its condition. The higher the grade, the more it's worth. Many of these valuable coins were found by regular people who had no idea what they had. Someone got change from a gas station and ended up with a $59,000 coin. Another person was going through an old coin jar and found the $88,000 one. These coins are out there. They're not locked up in museums. They're still hiding in wallets, drawers, purses, and old boxes. And they're waiting for someone like you to find them. Every time you get change, take a moment to look at your quarters. Check the date. Look at the letters and numbers. It only takes a second. You never know when that quick glance could turn into a life-changing discovery. This coin is not gold or super shiny. It looks just like any other quarter. But if it has a special mistake, that little coin could be worth more than a car, more than a year's salary, or even more than some people's savings. And what's even crazier is that these rare coins were made by accident. They were not supposed to exist. That's what makes them so exciting and so valuable. Let's talk about the 1992 D Washington quarter. Most of these quarters are just normal. The D means the coin was made in Denver. Millions of them were made, and most of them are only worth 25 cents. But a few of them were made using the wrong back side, or what collectors call the reverse of the coin. It was a mistake by the US Mint, and it created something very rare and very special. This mistake is called the white AM error. On the back of the coin, look at the word America. Pay close attention to the letters A and M. On most quarters from 1992, the A and M are very close together. But on the error coin, the A and M have a small space between them. That space is what makes the coin worth so much money. It may not sound like a big deal, but for collectors, it's a huge deal. That little space can mean the difference between a coin worth 25 cents and one worth $30,000, $51,000, or even $82,000. This happened because the mint used the wrong type of die to make some of the coins. A die is the tool that presses the image into the coin. The reverse die they used by accident was meant only for proof coins made in San Francisco. Those proof coins are usually shiny and made for collectors. They are not supposed to be used for regular coins. But somehow, that proof die ended up in Denver, and a small number of quarters were made using it. Now, those mistake coins are very rare. Most people don't even know they exist. That means they could be sitting in old jars, drawers, or even in your pocket right now. You don't need to be a coin expert to find one. You just need to know what to look for. So here's how to check. First, find a quarter with the date 1992 and a D mark next to the head. That tells you it was made in Denver. Then, flip the coin over and look at the word America. Look closely at the A and the M. If they are spaced apart, you might have the rare wide AM error. You can use a magnifying glass if you need help seeing the letters clearly. You can also compare it to another quarter from the same year to see the difference. If you think you found one, don't clean it. Cleaning can actually ruin the coin and make it less valuable. Instead, take it to a local coin shop or send it to a coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. They can tell you if it's real, what condition it's in, and how much it might be worth. The best ones in great condition have sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. One even sold for $82,000. That's a lot of money for one small coin. People have found these coins by accident. Some got them as change at the store. Others found them in old collections. And some people discovered them just by checking their coins at home. These quarters are still out there. They were never pulled from circulation. That means anyone, including you, has a chance to find one. So next time you get a quarter in change, take a quick look. Check the date. Look for the D mint mark. And don't forget to check the A and M on the back. That little space could mean big money. It only takes a minute, and it could change your life. There are rare 1985 D Washington quarters out there with special mint errors that are worth huge money today. And you might even have one sitting in your pocket, coin jar, or old change drawer right now. So don't go anywhere, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to tell if your 1985 D quarter is one of the rare and valuable ones. Now, let's talk about this coin. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932, and in 1985, the U.S. Mint made millions of them. The letter D means the coin was made at the Denver Mint. These quarters were supposed to be just everyday coins for spending, made from a mix of copper and nickel. But sometimes, mistakes happen at the mint, and those mistakes are what coin collectors love the most. Because the more rare and unusual a coin is, the more it's worth. One type of error is called an off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't lined up right during the stamping process, so part of the design is missing or shifted to the side. If you find a 1985 D quarter that looks like this, and you can still see the full date and mint mark, it could be worth a few $1,000s. If the off-center strike is big, like 50% or more off, and the coin is in great condition, it might sell for $10,000 or more. Another error to look out for is called double die. This means the coin was stamped twice by mistake, causing a doubling effect on the letters or numbers. If you look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date and see a shadow or double lines, that could be a double die error. These are super rare, and if your 1985 D quarter has this kind of mistake, it could be worth $40,000 or even more. Some of these coins, if they're in mint state with little to no wear, have sold for as much as $63,000 at auctions. But wait, it gets even better. The rarest type of error is when the coin was struck on the wrong kind of metal. These are called wrong planchet errors. A quarter is supposed to weigh 5.67 grams. If your 1985 D quarter is way lighter or heavier than that, it might have been stamped on a blank meant for a different coin like a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin. These are super rare and highly collectible. One of these rare planchet errors could be worth $25,000, $50,000, or even up to $95,000 depending on the coin's condition and how unique the error is. So how can you tell if you've got one of these rare coins? First, check for the D mint mark, which should be right above the R in the word quarter. That means it was made in Denver in 1985. Next, look at the coin very closely. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. Check the words and numbers for any doubling, strange marks, or anything that doesn't look right. Check if the coin is off-center, or if part of the design is missing. And don't forget to weigh the coin if you can. A normal quarter should be 5.67 grams. If it's not, that could be a clue that something special is going on. If you think you have a rare coin, don't clean it, that can lower the value. Instead, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you exactly what you have and how much it could be worth. It's crazy to think that a simple quarter you've had for years could actually be worth thousands or even close to six figures. But it's true. These error coins are out there, and people are finding them all the time. So the next time you hear a quarter drop, you might want to pick it up and take a closer look.